Your website might be doing a great job explaining what you offer, but is it helping parents feel confident about choosing you? On this episode of Rock School Proprietor Podcast, our friend Demitris Maddox is back to talk about the strategic use of video on your music school's website. Demitris explains how well-placed videos answer parents' questions, address their concerns, and build trust before they even reach out. And the videos he suggests require very little effort, and you can shoot them on your phone. So this isn't about fancy production. It's about using video strategically to turn website visitors into enrolled students. Stay tuned. If you're a guitar instructor and you've used one of the dozen or so popular method books, you've probably noticed that gap between what's in the books and what students actually want to learn. Most guitar students want to play their favorite songs, and that means strumming, chord changes, timing. If that stuff is even in those method books, it's usually way in the back. I put together the exercises in Complete Guitar Strumming to cover the foundational concepts that all guitar students need, but in a practical way that applies to their goals, which is playing their favorite songs. For instructors, the book comes with an instructor companion guide that walks you through best practices for teaching. I even have training videos that I've used with my own staff that you can access as well. The guide and the videos are free for anyone who wants to use the book for teaching. If you want to get really deep and understand the origins of the book, you can go listen to episode 50 of this podcast or just head over to rockschoolproprietor.com/book for all the details. Welcome to Rock School Proprietor Podcast. My name's John Kozicki.
And I'm Mandy York.
And Mandy, we are joined today again by our friend Demitris Maddox of Provide Impact. Demitris is a website designer. He is the creator of the Impact Builder framework for music schools and teachers. We talked about a little bit on the last episode he was on. He's also a drummer, but he builds websites. Yeah, he builds websites for folks like us, music school owners. Demitris, how you doing?
Hello, John and Mandy. Thank you so much for having me on the podcast. Again, I'm super excited that you guys chose to have me on, and I cannot wait to dive into this topic that we have for them today.
It's good to see you again.
Yeah, it's great to have you back, Demitris. And we had been, I guess, just casually chatting back and forth via email not too long ago. Mm-hmm. And you had mentioned the possibility of coming back on the podcast to talk about websites and using video on websites. And I thought that's a pretty interesting topic. I've got, Mandy, do you have any websites on your web, or do you have any videos on your website?
I do not. It's something I think about a lot, though.
Okay.
One of those on the to-do list.
Yeah. I've got one or two videos on my website. One of them, like the main video on my website, is like the general promo video, and had that made years back. Kind of shows a little bit about our studio. There's some clips cut in of our live performances. We talk a little bit about our programs. But I made that, over 5 years ago. So it's probably due for an update. But Demitris said he was talking about videos and using them the right way, and it's kind of low-hanging fruit. Demitris, can you speak on that, the idea of how to use videos the right way and them being low-hanging fruit?
Sure. So, John, I'm really happy that you alluded to the videos that you made, because I think that when a lot of people think, video, they think I need this big budget. I need to hire in this production team. I need to have the camera set up just right. I need to have this special lighting that is kind
Which
of...
I did.
100%, right? Because we think that, and then you put in all this budget, you spend all this time, it's like a week project to even shoot this thing. It's this big task, and then you end up with this video that may or may not actually move the needle for you, right? Mm-hmm. So when people are watching those videos, they know that it is this super highly produced video. And especially in music, especially on the website, what people are looking for, and I believe I said it in the last episode, is they're looking for a connection. People are looking to connect with the person on the other side of the screen. So when you have this sort of, professionally produced video, it loses that sense of authenticity. They feel like they're being sold to. It probably had that that pretty background music, and a person doing the interview is like off to a quarter side like this, and it's shooting them, and then like, sure. So that's the kind of video that people are perceiving that they should have on their website. The videos that I'm talking about, which are low-hanging fruits, can be shot on a smartphone. Any smartphone in 2025 today can absolutely accomplish these things and shoot the video in a way that will be connecting. It will connect with the people who are viewing it, and it can be shot simply by talking about just a few points in each video. So that's why I say it's low-hanging fruit.
Gotcha. Okay, so I was getting a little nervous there. Now, again, I want to say this was maybe 2019 when we put this video together. So pre-pandemic, a lot has changed with iPhones and the camera phones that you can use. Since then, I did want to, at the time, my goal was I really need to provide this visual of what we do and how kids and parents, what their experience is going to be like. And so because I run the rock school, it was very important to have footage of those live performances as well as the stuff in studio. And yes, it was expensive. Just like you said, it took a long time to put it together. But I like that what you're saying is here's some really simple videos that studio owners can self-produce and probably self-edit and put them up on their website and get a return, because what the goal is to anticipate questions that people will have, make that connection so that they can I think it's the same as if people were to walk into our studios and strike up a conversation with us and just see what's going on and experience that in person without having to do it in person. Right?
100%,
so they're able to
yes.
do that when they go on the website.
Yes.
Okay.
This episode is for me because
Okay.
I don't have video on the website, right? But I am it is my high priority with my website to make it as like authentic. I like that you use that word, authentic, and that users can very easily navigate my website and that it's filled with images. So I spend time and money on photographers so that what the images that my clients and prospective, clients are seeing on the website are a snapshot of my classroom. But when it comes to videos, I guess I'm a little intimidated. And so hearing that I don't need to hire a production team, I can do this myself. Okay. I want you to convince me and tell me, have you tell me what I need to do.
Okay.
Well, yeah, and I'm ready for an update too, I think. So
it's funny how 5 years, it doesn't seem like that long ago. But like you said, so much has changed.
So much. And
5 years is time for an update.
People's expectations have changed too. I've noticed that as well from even tech that I put in place pre-pandemic, thinking like, oh, this is state of the art. This is fantastic. And then to see even just in 5 years how it's changed. And now some of that stuff that we use thinking like, this is amazing. It's like, this is slow and clunky because things have changed. So yeah, people's perceptions change. People's expectations change. So this is right in line with keeping on the pulse of that and taking that snapshot of what I did with the video on my website then versus what people possibly want to be able to see on a website now. Now, Demitris, it sounds like these are okay. So I've gone on websites and I've seen instead of an image in that, above the fold, that main picture, I've seen videos. You're not talking about that though, right?
I am not talking about that. And I do want to say I am against videos above the fold. What you're talking about is like a video background, I'm assuming, or like a video background that kind of plays on a loop. Yeah, I am against those kinds of videos. And the reason being is that it's too distracting, right? When a person first lands on your website, you want to be able to communicate to them, and we all heard it within 3 seconds, what you do, who it's for, and what they can do here. And a video, they see this moving image, and we love watching TV. We love watching these moving things. So their attention is first drawn to that because it's moving. Because back in the day, if you saw something, back in like the Stone Ages, movement meant danger. If you were just out there by the campfire in like, I keep saying back in the day, but it's in like the Ice Age or whatever, right? And you hear something rustling in this brush, you look at it because that could be danger. That could be this lion coming to eat you, right? So we kind of carry that same thing over here. When we see something moving, we automatically want to look at it. And so you have all these moving images in the background that don't really sell as much as you think that they do. Because what you're really trying to do is they really want to read the words that you have on it. Like, do they teach what I want to teach? Or do they teach what I want to learn? So by having this moving image in the background, it's actually distracting when you can have a static image, or if you really want to do a video, you can have a video with a play button and they can choose to play the video.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Personal preference. I don't love those background videos myself, but again, that's personal preference. You make an interesting point though, that it can create a distraction and possibly distract from what you want to do to attract and keep those visitors on your website.
Sure.
Okay. Now, in your email to me, you had mentioned 3 videos, 3 easy videos to create and add to your website in the right spot. Now, I think maybe we'll get into the right spot with each one of these because each are a little bit different. I'm assuming that the right spot might be different for each one. Is that okay? Yeah. Now, just curious though, you had mentioned you don't think those background videos are a good idea.
No.
What about other wrong spots for videos on your website?
So it's honestly difficult to get a wrong spot for a video. It would depend more on the wrong kind of video, right? Because as a person is going through their journey when they're on your website, there are different questions that they might have in that user journey, in that flow, right? So if you had let me use the example that you were speaking about before. You had a video that was kind of showing, this is our studio. Welcome to it. This is kind of what happened. And it was super produced. Now, where you put that video was probably the right spot for that video, wherever it was, because just having the video in general is a great thing. But it may have been shot or styled in the wrong way that didn't connect the way that it should, or the way that it could have connected.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's get into these three videos, and we'll go one by one. I'm just gonna pre-sell all 3 of them, but then we'll start on the first one. So number 1, first video you suggest people have: what happens at the intro lesson? Number 2, the top 7 questions parents ask. And number 3, what happens when I fill out the form? I'm interested in that one, but let's start from the beginning. What happens at the intro lesson? So tell me, how long should these videos be? How long is too long? Obviously, you want to be informative enough to give the information without meandering too long, because people have short attention spans these days. So if it's going too much into detail, they'll just skip through.
Yep. Okay. So before I do talk about this video, I do want to mention the kind of like the setup and the equipment options that people can choose to have for these videos, right? So you're going to need something to film it on. As I said before, a normal smartphone would usually help. A step up from that is if you want to use a microphone, you can attach a microphone to this camera. You could do like a simple wired lapel mic or like a lavalier mic. That could work just fine. If you don't have a mic, don't sweat it. A next step up would be you can actually hold the phone landscape and hold it yourself and film it selfie style. That is an option that you can do. A step up from that would be if you have like a selfie stick. A step up from that would be if you wanted a separate person holding the phone. Now, people have varying degrees because some people don't feel comfortable on camera talking in front of somebody else. So that's why I gave people those kind of options that they can choose to step up to.
Gotcha.
Right. So now that we have the different kind of equipment and sort of the different options, let me get into this first video. And this first video was what happens at the intro lesson. Now, I'm going to tell you how this video was kind of birthed and kind of born, right? I think it was like 2021-ish as we all were. It was like we were still in lockdown. And we were kind of just coming out of it, right? And I was trying to lose weight. And I said, you know what? Let me get a DEXA scan. And a DEXA scan, for those who don't know, it's where you go, you lie down. It takes like a scan of your body. It tells you how much body fat you have, bone density, muscle mass, so on and so forth, right? And I was a little bit nervous when I went to this place because it was in an office building. I didn't want to look stupid. I didn't want to go to the wrong door. And it was kind of this like little nerve-wracking thing. It's kind of personal, you know, like weight loss and things like that. So I was like, okay, I wish they had had a video that told me, hey, I know that you're probably kind of nervous coming to get your DEXA scan. This is our parking lot. We're across the street from this place. You're going to walk through this door. Susie at the front desk will greet you. You can fill out your paperwork. You'll sit right here. Once you're done with your paperwork, we're going to take you into the back room. We're going to have your DEXA scan there, right? So a video sort of like that. I wish that they had that because it would have put me more at ease because, as you mentioned before, we want them to experience what it's like to be in our studio before they've been in our studio, right?
Yeah.
I call that the gift of going second. Nobody wants to be the first person to kind of do something, but if you show them through video, they're the second person going through that experience. So how that applies to music teachers and sort of this video is you should have a video that says, you know, this is what's going to happen at your intro lesson. You're going to walk through this door. Now, if you have a public facing, you know, like a brick and mortar, you can start outside of your building. You can say, we're across the street from so-and-so. Parking looks like this. You're going to walk through this door. Then you're going to meet this receptionist here. We're going to take you and your child to this room here. You'll sit here. I'll sit there. We're going to talk about and go over these things. If you have any questions, you can ask me them here. So just literally walk them through step by step by step what happens at your intro lesson, right?
Right.
Now, there might be people who are saying, well, Demitris, I don't have a brick and mortar. I don't really want people to see where I live. 100% fine. So what you would do in that instance is you would start just outside the door of where your studio would be. If it's in a bedroom or in like a spare room, you would say, okay, when you come in for your intro lesson, you're going to walk through this door. I'm going to sit here. You're going to sit here. We're going to talk about this, 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 and this. And whatever your process is for the intro lesson, I'm going to ask your child to play a scale. Whatever those things are that you do in your intro lesson, that is what you speak about in that video. And then you can end it by saying, if you have any other questions, we would be able to answer them here, or you can think about it. Whatever your ending call to action can be, or you want it to be, that is how you can end that video. So that is the what happens at the intro lesson video.
Okay. 2 follow-up questions. And I think these are pretty simple, but I want to clarify. The first one, I'm assuming this would go for all of these videos. This is the kind of video, correct me if I'm wrong, you shoot the video, you do whatever editing you need to do, you upload it to YouTube, and then when you either embed that video onto your website or wherever you put it, then you grab the code from YouTube. Is that kind of the best practice, or do you think hosting it on your actual website is the right idea?
Great question. I'm really glad that you asked that. Okay. So, like as with anything, there are varying degrees, right? I would not suggest that you upload it directly to your website. The reason being that videos are going to be large, they're going to be big in terms of file size, and it can actually slow down your page load speed. I do suggest that you do embed these videos onto your website.
Okay.
But in varying degrees, right? If like a better than nothing option would be, sure, you can take this YouTube video, you could upload it to your site. The issue that I have with YouTube is that they show you other videos, like other related videos. And when you put this video on your site, we know that the YouTube algorithm is trying to show us things to get us interested in going to YouTube. So you click that video, they now leave your website and they're on YouTube watching this other video because it's this cat video or it's a fail video or some other kind of video, right? So a better than nothing option would be to do that.
Okay.
They have other services, though, that you can upload videos to and embed them onto your site.
Okay.
There are other things. So
Vimeo is one of them. Is that one that you would recommend?
Yeah. Vimeo is one of them. Wistia is another one of them. There is actually a company, I believe it's called killerplayer.com, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what you can do, I think, don't quote me, but I think it's about $100 one time, I believe. And you can actually upload your video to YouTube as you would normally. So you're not paying for a storage fee. And then you can take that video URL and upload it to Killer Player. And then you can upload the code that Killer Player gives you to your website. And it will remove all of those suggested video options.
Ah, okay.
Cool.
So, yes, that's a great question. You said you had a follow-up second question.
Yeah. Quick pros and cons of putting this video, embedding it on your website versus maybe putting it into your email sequence for new students.
Excellent question. So I want you to think about the thought process of a person who is coming to your website as a parent, right? They're thinking, is this studio for me?
Mm-hmm.
What happens at this intro lesson? That's the question that they're answering or asking themselves that you're trying to answer. If you put it in your follow-up email, they have already answered that question for themselves, and they have already made the decision to have an intro lesson with you, right? So you can use both. You can absolutely put it on your website, and let's say they don't see it for whatever reason. Let's say they don't find it or they choose to sign up for lessons before seeing that video. You can put it in the follow-up email also. So these videos I'm talking about are sort of like Swiss Army knife videos. You can use a bunch of different ways. You can put it on your website. You can put it in the follow-up email. You can send it to a person who you're just speaking to. Hey, I actually have this video for you. Like, let's say they call you. Hey, I actually have this video for you that shows you what happens at our intro lesson. What's your email? And I'll send it over to you, or I'll text it to you. So these are videos that you can use in a bunch of different ways.
Great.
Cool.
I like that.
I like this. That's actually not something I had really thought about, was like just kind of the nuts and bolts of what door to walk through, where you will sit. I have like a document I put out, what to expect in a music together class, but not as much detail as that and more about the curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that. And it reminds me of my kids. John, you've got older kids. Like when my girls start a new activity, they're all like, well, should I wear my gym clothes there or should I change when I get there? What are the other people going to do? Right? They're adults are the same. The other kids are the same. So I really like that. This is inspiring. My question though is, my instinct is to put up, and I'm only group classes. I don't do private lessons. My instinct is to take a snapshot of the group class and put it up there too. So music playing, people, interacting, would that be part of this video or something different? Different placement?
So that kind of video that you're speaking to would not be this style of video. There is a potential place for the video that you're speaking about. That's more of a what are lessons like kind of video.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. This is speaking to what is the intro lesson like. Because in order for somebody to take lessons with you, they first need to probably take an intro lesson with you. So they are higher up in their decision-making process. So we are capturing them exactly where they are when they land onto the website. So there's definitely a place for the video that you're speaking about. It would just not be this video. So what I would not do is I would not say, this is what the intro lesson is like. You're going to come into this room with these other kids. It's going to be a group lesson, because that's probably not what your intro lesson is like. Or is it? Do you do a group intro lesson? Is that what it's like for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, always groups.
Okay, cool. So then I would absolutely do it that way then. And whatever the intro lesson process is for your studio, some people don't even do an intro lesson. Some people do like a tour. I'm going to give you a tour of this space. Whatever that initial process is for you, that is what you are walking them through. So for you, Mandy, it might very well be you're going to walk through this door. There are going to be other kids in this classroom. Your instrument is going to be here. We'll sit here. The parent can sit here. We can answer questions, but there'll be other kids in the class. I will give your child attention, whatever that process actually is. Help them visually see step by step by step what happens throughout it, so they can visually see, so that when they kind of get there, they know what to expect.
Okay. Yeah,
Mandy,
that's great.
you could take that document that you have and basically use that as your script to create your video.
Yes, it would be so much more effective as a video, right? Than a PDF.
100%.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And also, one of the things that we haven't mentioned yet is that with these videos, they are seeing your face, knowing you more, liking you more, trusting you more, seeing the person's face, hearing their voice, connecting with you more. So by the time they come to your studio, they're like, oh, hey, Mandy. And you're like, how do you know? Because we've seen all your videos already. That's what is huge about these videos. That's kind of unspoken. It connects a lot more than a PDF document ever can.
Mm-hmm. That makes me think, too, that I would want to include other teachers in this, right? That's something that I'm always trying to work towards, is creating a following for certain teachers, right? And getting their faces in front of the clients more and more. So it would be really great to put other teachers in these videos, too. I like that.
Nice.
All right.
So let's move on to number 2, video number 2 that you suggested, Demitris. The 7 top questions parents ask us. Why 7?
Okay.
or can it be, I mean, like, I'm assuming we can custom tailor this, but if you have 7, let's hear what those 7 are.
So here it is. I chose 7 because it's a sweet spot, right? It's enough to cover key concerns that parents have without overwhelming them. There's actual research showing that people tend to remember about 7 items at a time. Think about this, the 7 wonders of the world, 7 days in a week. Even phone numbers are 7 digits in the US. So 7 feels complete, it feels manageable, and it feels memorable. That's why I chose 7. Don't get me wrong, you can choose 5, you can choose 9. I probably wouldn't go above 7 though, but if you only have 5, if you only have 3, whatever you have is better than 0, right? So that's why I choose 7.
And so I'm understanding this. This is really just, it's a different version of your FAQs, right? Like what are the most important things? Going back to that idea that Mandy has a document that serves as right now what could be a video. This seems like that updated version of your FAQs, so people don't have to read it. And what are those answers? What are those questions that we want to answer for potential customers, potential clients right out of the gate?
So I would say it is a version of an FAQ, right? I can't speak to everybody's FAQ because the thing that makes these questions relatable and hard-hitting is that these should actually be questions that people are asking you, right? And people, a lot of times on FAQs, have questions that they want to answer for their visitors, such as, well, what is billing like? Nobody's really asking you that kind of question, or how do I log into XYZ platform, So I'm going to tell you, this is a question that we get a lot of times in our studio. It is, can we keep the keyboard now until we're serious, right? Or can we keep this instrument that we have now until we're serious? And you would only know that because they're asking this question time and time again. So, Mandy, I would say, what is a question that you guys get time and time again? Or Johnny, what's a question that you guys get over and over and over again? Like, if you can just think.
Yeah. Well, so the question about the keyboards, I never get that, right? But for me, for my studio, how do bands work? Which is, it's just like, I'd have to break that down into separate like questions, but that's, or separate answers or different parts of the answer. But yeah, that's a very popular one.
And Mandy, for you?
Yeah. Why are the ages in the classes mixed? Why do you not have separate classes for the different ages?
Right. And I
have a great answer for that, right?
Like we only teach group also. We don't do private lessons also. So that is a question that comes up for us 100% as well. And do you answer that question on your website currently? John and Mandy, you guys answer that already?
So I have, so it's not on the website. It's in the email sequence after the form is filled out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I really don't think I do. It's something I address in class, as I'm educating parents throughout the semesters, but no, I don't specifically.
So this is an opportunity.
Look at you teaching me so many things.
So, man, this is an opportunity for you because when people are coming to the site, that's a question that they have, right? And they may not know to ask yet, but if you proactively answer it, then they're like, oh, wow, right? So the way that you come up with these questions is, what are the questions that people are are asking you on a daily basis? Write those questions down. And then, John, you said that how do bands work? You can record that video and it can be as long as it needs to be and no longer. Long and concise. So whatever that looks like for you, it might be 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, whatever the answer is, without you feeling like you're rambling on, right? So you take those questions, you answer them. And just like with the previous video, this is a Swiss Army knife kind of video. So what I would do is once you record these 7 questions, you can take them and you have them separately in different files. Maybe you upload them to YouTube, as mentioned before. Maybe they're on your website. Doesn't matter. Somebody asks you that question, you can send them this video in a response. You don't have to answer it again. You've already answered it the first time in its completeness. You can send them that video. You can then take all of those videos that you've recorded, put them together into one single video, have that video on your website, have that video in your follow-up sequence. And that is how I would use that kind of video.
That's great. That's great. Now, so this is the 7 questions or however many you come up with. So this is really going to be a personal thing. So this isn't, it sounds like whoever's creating this video for their personal studios, you have to really know, okay, what are the questions that we do get asked often?
Sure.
So there's no blanket, like these are the 7 questions.
Right. There would be, I don't think there is a blanket because like you said, the question that we get asked the most is, can we keep the keyboard now until we're serious or do I really need an instrument right now?
Right.
That is something that is personal to us. And you said that you never get that question. So it's difficult to say a blanket. I will tell you the 7 questions that we have, that we answer. And that may help a teacher kind of pull things from it and they can choose to use them or not use them, and they can kind of modify it how they see fit, right? So the question that we answer would be, can we keep this keyboard until we know that they're serious, right? Mm-hmm. The second question we answer is, will my child get enough attention in your Confident Keys program? Because, man, as you know, with group, people are like, are you going to get enough time with my child? Is it, however that's going to work? That's a question that we answer. Next one, what if I need to miss a lesson? Like, what's that policy like?
Yeah.
My child's in a bunch of activities with changing schedules. Can we change our lesson date if we need to? Right. Number 5, do you give sibling discounts?
Mm-hmm.
Number 6, can we try one lesson to see if we like it first? And the last one, do you teach kids younger than 9?
Mm-hmm.
And that last question wasn't necessarily a question people were asking, but what we found is we were getting a lot of students who were younger than 9 who weren't good fits. So we were getting like 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds, 4-year-olds, and we don't teach that young. So we preemptively asked that question, do you teach kids younger than 9, to answer that question for them so that they would be able to select out of coming to our studio because it wouldn't be a good fit anyway.
Yeah.
I think that's a good...
sorry, go ahead, Maddie.
No, I'm sorry. It's a good reflection exercise. I just gave an example of a question I get asked and the answer's not on my website. So I know I'll sit down and think of these top 7 questions. And goal is to get to a video, but also just to update the website with answers to those.
Yeah.
It's good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Demitris, you'd also mentioned a bonus video. And I think you just sort of alluded to that because, and I don't know if we'll get to it, but the bonus video that you mentioned was who are the lessons not for? So I can totally see now in your situation, it's like, well, they're not for kids under 9. All right, so that's a great one. I like that. Let's do number 3, and this is the one I'm most interested in, honestly. Okay. What happens when I fill out this form? Now, I'm most interested because I do think there's a lot of whether you label it anxiety or like hesitation with filling out that website form. I know I've experienced it where I'm like, oh, do I want to put my email in here? Do I really want to give them my email address? And then like, are they going to send me multiple emails every day? You know, is it going to be annoying? Or am I going to get stuff that's like, yeah, I really want to get this information on a reasonable frequency, you know? So this is the one that I'm most interested in.
Okay. So, John, what you just said is actually sounds just like the first part of the talking point script that I'm going to lay out. Just exactly what you said, because we've all had that anxiety, right? So think about it. As you said, right before you fill out a form, your hand's on this contact form, you have doubts. You're wondering, should I fill out this form? Are they going to contact me? Or are they going to send me a million emails? Are they going to sell my personal information? And these videos belong wherever you have a form where somebody will be filling out to contact you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for most of us, it's going to be whatever that mechanism is for them to fill out an intro lesson or a first call or a meet and greet, whatever that mechanism is, whatever that form is, this video should live right next to it or right above it. So if that's at the bottom of the page, if that's on a separate page where you have your form, wherever your form goes, this video goes hand in hand with it. Okay. So
and that speaks to that placement, like the right place for these videos. And before you were saying, well, there's not really a wrong place for a lot of these videos. Probably is a wrong place for this one.
This video,
is the one that,
yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is peanut butter and jelly. This is right next to each other, right side by side.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So people need to be reassured that you're not some evil corporation that's going to send them annoying emails or call them 14 times a day. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So there are, and you can stop me at any point, John, because I know that you're interested in this one the most, right? So there are really 3 beats that you need to hit with these videos, right? The first one, I call it the empathy call out. And it's just what you said. You can start out the video, you can call them out right away and empathize it. You can start just like this. You know, the video cuts on and then in action, John goes, you know, we've all had that uncomfortable feeling when we're about to reach out and about to submit our contact information online. And when we're kind of wondering, are they going to call me a million times? Are they going to send me 100 emails trying to sell me something? Are they going to spam me? The answer here is no, right? Mm-hmm. So that's exactly what you just said, pretty much word for word. So that's the first part of the video script, right? You're empathizing with them. Because we've all been there, and it's true. I was just there before, you know, I'm going to fill this online form, right? And you're calling out, the thing with these videos is that you're calling out the question that they have in their mind before they even think that they have that question. So how much more would you trust a place that had a form and a video right next to it that said, what happens if I fill out this form? You're like, wow, they're going to show me exactly what happens. I get the gift of going second. Amazing. Right. Mm-hmm. So the next part, you say the answer is no. Let me tell you what will happen. And this is literally just walking them step by step what happens. So when you're done filling out the form, I'm going to get an email in my inbox that says you're interested in lessons. I'm going to get that email. I'm going to find your phone number. I'm going to give you a call at the selected time. We're going to chat about your child. I'll answer any questions. If we feel like it's a fit, if you feel like we're the studio for you, we're going to schedule to come in for an intro lesson. That you're going to literally just lay out step by step by step what happens in that process. If you have another person, let's say that you're not going to be the one who's going to call them. We're going to get a text message to our phone. Our coordinator will give you a call at this set time. You know, whatever that process is, first you need to lay out and write out what that process is before you can speak it. But you're just letting them know step by step by step in this second step what happens. That's the process portion of this video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like this. And I'm thinking about it in my studio. It's really just how I have that email sequence set up. You know, it's like, here's what's going to happen. You're going to provide your information. You're immediately going to get email that's going to have some information about our programs. And there's going to be a button that encourages you to schedule a time for a phone call. If you don't schedule a time for a phone call, that's fine. In 2 days, you're going to get another email and it's going to say this. And then about a week later, you're going to get one more email that says this, and then that's it. So yeah, I could easily just kind of go through that sequence and explain that. But it also makes me think about people's expectations for when they do fill out that form. Some people might expect that as soon as they fill out the form, that someone's going to call them.
Sure.
There sure are those people, right?
Mm-hmm.
My studio is not set up for that type of thing, like that immediate phone call. But that would be a good thing to explain in that video. Or maybe, again, for my studio, we're not going to call you right away. We're happy to call you if you want to talk. You can set up a time for a phone call, but we're not going to call you like within the first hour that you fill out this form. There's a chance, but that's not the norm.
Yeah. And like you said, we have these processes in place, right? You've got the sequence set up. This is just a matter of sharing it. It makes a lot of sense. I love it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
100%.
This is great. Man, I love this, Demitris.
This was really good.
All of these videos, all of these suggestions are really, in my mind, about empathizing with those prospective customers and trying to give them information in a way that's going to be, number one, useful for them, but also easy for them to find. So instead of having to read through stuff like, Mandy, you talked about the document that you sent. I talked about with the band program. How do the bands work? Well, in that email number 1, if they click on the link for the bands, then they can get all the information for the band program, but gives them that information ahead of time in a way that is really casual. I love it.
There's actually there's one third piece to that video. I can't let the listeners leave without knowing this last third piece. Okay.
Okay. All right.
So we had the empathy open where we talked about empathy. We had the second part, which was the process, which we laid out step by step. And the last step would be the call to action, right? It could sound something like this. So after you tell them the process, you can say, hey, you've been thinking about your child taking piano lessons for a bit now. You've done some research. You kind of decided that it's time to move forward. So I invite you to fill out the form, hit the send button. It's time to talk about lessons. Right?
Love it.
Just something like that to kind of close it out, I think would be the great end to this video. And this video should be around maybe like a minute, 30 seconds, 2 minutes, somewhere like a minute to 2 minutes, somewhere around that. It's not going to be this long, lengthy video.
Yeah.
But it's very, very powerful because as you alluded to before, you were a little bit nervous to fill out the form. And if you put yourself in that position, if they had this video, hey, here's what happens, John, if you fill out this form, you'd be like, wow, okay, I get it now. And something that you mentioned before, it sets boundaries. You said that you're not a studio who will get back to somebody in an hour potentially because you're not set up like that. So you can say, hey, somebody will contact you within 24 hours. Now they kind of know, okay, 24 hours, I can wait for somebody to contact me. It sets boundaries and it helps set expectations at the same time.
Yeah. I like
so
that.
So Demitris, with the other videos, do you have a sweet spot for length? I'm sure like a 10-minute video is probably too much.
Sure.
But
with the previous video was 7 questions parents ask. That video is going to vary the most in length because you're answering a question that you need to answer thoroughly, but yet concisely. So for John, who had the question, what are band lessons like? Or what are bands like? He might have to give a lot more detail than somebody answering the question of what happens if I miss a lesson, right? So that one has the most variation in terms of length. It needs to be as thorough as possible, but still being as concise as possible, right? The first video, which was...
What happens at the intro lesson?
What happens at the intro lesson? That video should be right around maybe like the 2-minute mark or so, because you don't want to ramble on so much and give them all of this. You're going to have this book, but I would say right around the 2-minute mark, I think would be a sweet spot for that.
Okay. Yeah, I would imagine a little any longer than that, you're going to start to lose people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Great stuff. As always, Demitris.
Thank you.
As we wrap this one up, if anyone wants to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to reach you? Whether that's for, video stuff or your website building services, where can they reach you?
Sure. So, John and Manny, I do want to say thank you so much for having me on here. And I do want to lead with value to your listeners. So all I want them to do is this. I want them to build the best websites that they possibly can, right? I want them to be able to have the best videos that they possibly can. I know that we had a limited amount of time here, but there's actually a fourth secret video that I want to give your people for free, right? Okay. I want to show them an example of what this video will look like, along with the tips on what to say and how it should be shot. So all they have to do to get that video is go to provideimpact.com/video 4. And that is 4 FOUR, not the number 4. Provideimpact.com video 4.
Okay. We will link to that in the show notes for sure. Provideimpact.com/video 4 for that secret video from Demitris.
Great.
I'm going to do that right after we get off this call. Well, that's going to wrap this one up. Demitris, always a pleasure. Again, check out Demitris' website. These are great suggestions. That's going to do it for Rock School Proprietor Podcast this week. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
If you have topic suggestions or questions, please contact us at info@rockschoolproprietor.com. We'd love to hear from you and hear suggestions for future shows. We've put together some free resources for teachers and studio owners over at rockschoolproprietor.com and a private Facebook group called The Modern Music School. Please join us over there. On social, I'm at rock.school.proprietor on Instagram and John Kazicki on both LinkedIn and Blue Sky. Your ratings and reviews on Apple Podcasts and Spotify are always appreciated. And if you enjoyed the show and gain insight from our conversation, then we count that as a win. All we ask in return is that you pay it forward, and please share the show with someone you think needs to hear it.